Thank you everyone to be here today in this beautiful building, the Radio France building. Je peux aussi parler français, but this...
I can also speak French, but I will be...
I'm the new CEO of Radioplayer Worldwide, and we will have a conversation in a minute with Jean-Francois Labal from Renault, and I'm sure that you are all here for Renault and not for me. But just to give you some information about Radioplayer. Radioplayer is the leading hybrid radio solution in Europe. We have a lot of partnership with car manufacturers, and we are owned by the broadcaster, and we work only for the broadcaster. It means that in each country, we have 19 countries now, we have a local company that works only for Radioplayer and support our strategy to keep the radio alive on cars, but not only, because we also work with smart speakers partners, and we are also present, as you know, in the mobile app environment, TV apps, website, desktop. It means everywhere where our listeners are. We have some partnership with car manufacturers, with Cariad since 6 years now. Cariad is a Volkswagen Group company that owns different beautiful brands like this. And it means that we have today millions of cars on roads in Europe with this partnership with Cariad. We have also another partnership with the BMW Group with these two brands, BMW and Mini, and these brands have already Radioplayer inside. It means that the hybrid radio is still present in your market, in the French market, but not only, everywhere in Europe, everywhere in Canada, and it's with Radioplayer. But today, we are here to have a conversation with Renault. But just before, I just want to tell you that we will announce very soon some new brand where which Radioplayer has new partnership. And we can say that for today we have 56 different models on the roads. And our last announced partnership is with Renault, with the Renault Group. And I'm really pleased today to announce you an interview with Jean-Francois Labal, the Digital Partnership Head of Renault. Welcome, Jean-Francois, bienvenue.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you to be here with us today, Jean-Francois. We are here to discuss about radio in the car, about DAB+, about also all the stuff that Renault does for the car environment and for radio station. But before, can you explain us your role? What is your role in Renault?
Okay, my microphone is working well, okay. So hello everybody. So I'm actually in charge of the digital partnership at Renault. And today really, I'm delighted to be along with you here. Why? Because really, broadcasters are essential for Renault. You were saying that actually people were willing to hear from Renault, but what really matters for us is to get the involvement, to get the contribution of the broadcasters, to go along with you with an ambitious adventure we are going to initiate. So today, my contribution, to make it short, is part of a strategic plan implemented by our CEO, Luc Ademeo, 2 years ago. That plan is shifting Renault from volume to value. Value for our shareholders, obviously, but most importantly, values for our customers. The key point is that you are all knowledgeable, actually, in the radio. I'm not going to teach you what radio is and how much important radio is. The point is that you can't imagine how much the profile of our customers has evolved drastically. Today, our customers are what we are calling progressive, modern, mainstream customers who are considering digital life and exploration as pillars. What does it mean? That means that, in concrete, a car is no longer a means of transportation from point A to point B. Our customers and end users are seeking enjoyment, are seeking meaning. They are looking for pleasure, they are looking for meaningful time on board, actually. And today, our content strategy, including radio, is supposed to serve those customers, actually. So today, Renault, in that space, has got actually a strong track of records with regards to the content, to the audio content, and especially to the content which are provided by the broadcasters. Today, Renault, for example, those track of records today means twofolds. First things, a WASM, a compelling, connected and open multimedia onboard system called OpenAirLink, which was jointly developed with Google. It's an open system, allowing actually to have over the top a lot of content actually. And already today, on top of that interface, we are already providing a lot of audio-based content. We are delivering, offering to our customers music, podcasts, audiobooks, audio guides. We've got, for example, some strong partners such as Amazon Music, of course, Sibel, Caracal, which are French companies providing, for example, travel audio guides. And obviously, we are as well offering a radio experience which goes beyond actually the legacy radio. By legacy radio, I'm sorry, but I mean both radio FM and radio DAB actually. And we are providing that enhanced radio thanks to you, our partner Radioplayer.
Thank you, Jean-Francois. Yes, we are present with this app called Radioplayer for Renault, available in all the Megane and all the Austral in the market, the electric vehicle from Renault. We all know that radio, broadcast or not, is a really important tool for listening news, music, sport, etc. In this year, in 23, is radio still important for you in all the car, connected or not?
The radio, okay, that's a good point. Actually, the radio has always been a demand from the drivers, from the passengers. Radio has always been there from the beginning. No doubt about that. Our cars our new lineup of Renault are consisting of vehicles which are highly connected, which are embedding a lot of stuff, enabling a lot of content experience. Our customers, for example, can enjoy audio-based experience through various sources. They can listen to audio thanks to radio FM, thanks to radio DAB, thanks to over-the-top applications, for example, such as Spotify, Amazon Music, and whatever. They can as well listen to music through the USB, and they can as well listen to music, to audio, through replication, such as CarPlay and Android Auto. Despite this, today, last year, for example, and that is really, really surprising, but 80% of the audio listening was done through the legacy radio. And once again, by legacy, I mean FM, both FM and DAB, actually. So having said that, that means that the car, the radio itself, has still its rightful place in the car and has still a brilliant future, I would say. Having said that, we have to note that there are some evolutions. For example, there is today a rapid adoption of alternatives to radio. For example, within the last 3 months, for example, we have observed an increase of by 66% the numbers of active users of streaming platforms such as Amazon or even Radioplayer, for example. Secondly, we are experiencing as well an appetite for non-linear content, such as podcasts, for example, Today, what is interesting is that, for example, for some of our partners, providing audiobooks and so on, they are confessing that 70% of their content is consumed in the car. And third point is that there's as well an appetite, a new conception for more personalized content. For example, we got a partnership with Caracal, providing audio guides. I mean, location-based audio content. And today, there's already a kind of success in terms of adoption for this kind of new audio experience, actually. So, meaning that means that the radio needs to accommodate those new trends in terms of usage.
I think we all agree in this room to say that radio cannot stay as radio was in the 90s and maybe 10 years ago. It's clear that we need also to improve the experience for the listeners and be at the same level as the competitors, Spotify and the others. We have a big advantage, DAB+, FM, broadcast band that allows also the user to have access to their content for free and without any restriction, without any tracking. And that's why in Radioplayer we strongly believe in a technology called hybrid radio that gives you the best from the broadcast, but also at the same time all the evolution that we can have from the IP. Jean-Francois, we have a partnership since more than 1 year now on the two different kind of services. The first is the hub that you mentioned before, Radioplayer for Renault, and the second is about hybrid radio and all the future that we can develop together. Can you tell us more about the partnership that you have with Radioplayer?
Yes, you're right to point out that we established 1 year ago, more than 1 year ago indeed, a long-term partnership to embrace, I would say, a global and comprehensive in-car radio experience. That partnership actually consists of two objectives. The first, I would say, the first achievement we had together was indeed the availability of a new application on top of our new multimedia interface. That application did enable our customers and end users to access a broader content selection, actually. And it did allow as well our customers to access radio as they were used to accessing content through, I would say, experience such as Spotify and Amazon Music or Deezer or whatever. So that means that thanks to you, we managed to align the radio experience with the market standards. That was the first achievement, actually. Now, looking into the futures, so the new upcoming vehicles of Renault, let's say by the end of this year, will be embedding, I will say, a major significant evolution thanks to the hybrid radio we are going to embed into our cars. That hybrid radio will be powered by Radioplayer. Thanks to that, we will manage to provide two, I will say, improvements for our customers in terms of experience. The first one will be, of course, to be able to have a displaying of the right and the most relevant metadata. For example, the logo of the radio, the now playing data, the description of the titles, and so on, through the worldwide radio player APIs. The second thing would be as well a seamless switch, so an improvement in terms of audio quality through a seamless switch between radio channels, I mean FM, DAB, and the IP radio. So that would enable to come up with a global experience, actually. And of course, at least but not last, that partnership enables us to pave the way for the future. And the future means more and more personalization. So that's a continuous enrichment that we are putting in place altogether, actually.
It's clear that we strongly believe in a world where we have the broadcast, but also the IP to take the best of all the experience. And what you mentioned, Jean-Francois, the seamless switching is really important. To take a very practical example here in France, you can listen to a local station called Voltage, for example, in Paris. You go outside, in Derby in Paris, you go outside Paris, you will be switched automatically to the FM band, and when, for example, you go to the countryside in my birth town of Saint-Lô, you will not have any FM anymore, and you can continue to listen Voltage via IP. It's really important to take the best from the two worlds and not create a world where we could create a competition between the broadcast and the IP. That's why also we need the support of the broadcaster to help us to build this beautiful world with the car manufacturers. Maybe, Jean-Francois, I have a last question for you. That could be about the future of the radio.
Okay.
What can you tell us about the future of the radio? Yeah, and the radio in car especially.
Okay, so we really believe at Renault that the future of the radio remains brilliant, actually, and has got a lot of potential. From our perspective, we forecast a base of vehicles equipped with all the capabilities we have mentioned by 2030, a base of more than 10 million of vehicles in Europe for Renault. That means that's a huge potential for Renault, obviously, but as well for our partners. And we will be really happy to onboard actually broadcasters into that adventure. So for the future means, first of all, more potential for Renault, for broadcasters, and for our customers. For customers, because there will be two major evolutions which are expected by customers and which are expected as well by automakers, at least by Renault, at least. The two evolutions which will enrich the experience of our customers are two evolutions. The first one is the personalization. We need to move towards personalization. For example, 23% of our customers are explicitly demanding for content creation. They want to avoid getting trapped into a bubble. They want to discover. I mean that it is not the end user or the customer should not seek out the content, but rather the content should reach the customer, the opposite. That's really, really essential. The second point is that the radio should foster the engagement. We should generate interactivity, which is not the case today, between the customer and the radio. Interactivity means, for example, the possibility for the end user to share through social networks easily from the radio his experience. For example, to be more participative, thanks to online polls, for example, and so on. So I think that in the future we can altogether make the radio more than ever the popular place it should be.
Thank you. Thank you for this optimistic message. I would like to thank you also for this great partnership with us in Radioplayer, Jean-Francois, and for your support. We will be around if you have any questions during the break later. And thank you one more time for your participation this evening.
Thanks a lot.